Hey, what's going on, everybody? We are live for Financial Fitness Friday. And since this is the last Financial Fitness Friday of 24, kind of want to outline some steps that you guys can take. And this is anyone can take to have your best year financially heading into 25, right? So, Dave, I got Dave here. First thing is credit. Okay. I'm going to tell you guys financially, having good credit gives you the power to borrow, gives you the power to invest, and things that you need to buy, like a home or a car, when you have good credit, are actually way cheaper, right?
Mhm.
And this isn't the price to purchase this. This is the price that you pay over time. Know that there is a difference, right? And what I mean by that is if you have really good credit, you could be buying that car, right? Or that vehicle at 5 years, 0%, or 2% or introductory rate. Versus if you don't have good credit, that same $30,000 car, if you're paying, let's say, a high interest rate, can cost you almost double over the course of time. All right. So the first thing I would tell you is fix your credit. Okay. If you are a business owner, you also need to work on your business credit if you never have. Okay. So that is a great starting point. Fix your personal credit, fix your business credit. All right. Nothing I'm going to tell you guys is sexy. It's all sound, right? These are the boring, simple things that if you do day in and day out, add up to big wins. All right. The next thing I would tell you is focus on skills. All right. The more skills that you have, the more you can earn, the more you can produce. Now, whether you own a business or you are an entrepreneur, it doesn't make a difference. Skills pay the bills. Find a way that you can learn different and new skills. There's so much that you can do with some of these new AI applications. If you guys give my buddy Rob Cressy a follow, okay, he puts out a lot of content, and he is huge on teaching himself how to use these certain AI tools, and he's built a company off of it, right? So anyone can pick that stuff up at any point, learn, and be way, way, way more productive. Dave, we want to add a couple in here?
Yeah, I mean, credit obviously that's the most important thing because credit kind of separates the gap if you don't have cash on hand available, but you have income, you're making money. Um, you can accelerate that by using OPM, by other people's money. So, yeah, credit obviously know where you stand and then know the next steps, right? No, I think the most important thing that people don't understand in credit is it takes time. And I know I don't talk about it a lot. Like it takes time. Even if your credit's good, it takes time. If you have a balance, right? You still got to wait for the next report for it to report out. That's 30 days. Okay. So imagine that. So if you're working on something, even if it's just paying down debt, you're on a 30-day scale. And if it's a lot of money, it could take you 3 months, 6 months to pay that off. So from a reporting standpoint, from every 30 days. So keep that in mind that it does take time. If you're going to start, do it now. You
Yeah,
know,
and guys, there are tricks, right? Like, yes, if you do it normal where you're paying it off yourself, it's going to take a little bit longer. But if you take out a term loan to consolidate everything,
Mhm.
you'll probably speed your process up by 3 to 6 months, easy.
Right, 100%. But just know that every month it's going to take a month for reporting, like every
Of
single month.
course.
So you got to be patient. You know what I mean? So even if it's, hey, I paid everything off the same day, now I can go become lendable, whatever I'm looking at, business, home. No,
Yeah,
it's not the same day.
yeah. It doesn't
Like,
work that way. It
no,
actually works on the statement date. So
yep.
work off the statement dates. If you guys want a easy and easy way to boost your score a couple points permanently, is set them up to get paid on the statement date or a couple days before the statement date, and just pay whatever the monthly balance is. And if you guys do that, like, you'll see your credit shoot up. And if you can't do that, pay a significant chunk of it,
Yeah.
right? Whatever it is, but do it on the statement date. It's a couple days before the due date, and it will report early automatically.
Yeah, you're
Right.
zeroing out your balance. So get that
Correct.
report as a zero balance. So that's important. One thing and the other thing I'll stress is find a way to build discipline. One thing that we've been talking about in our faith-based group is you can have discipline, right? But there's disciplines in different things. You could be super disciplined in your fitness, but maybe your home life, right, isn't as disciplined, right? You let that go by the wayside. Maybe your walk in faith isn't as disciplined. Maybe what you're doing in your business isn't as disciplined. So start to look to build discipline in different other subsets, right? Like something I want to work on more is have more faith discipline, have even better time discipline for what we do in business, have better time discipline for my family. Like, look, the health stuff, physical fit, like that's locked in, right? Now it's okay. Where can I build discipline better in different things I look at? What do I need over here in business to lock? What do I need in my home life to lock down? Go ahead. You want to touch on that some more?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple things, the last two points I'm going to leave you, because Dave's right. You need discipline, but you need it in each of these areas. And it discipline's like a muscle. You have to build it up. You got to work it. You got to exercise it. All right. What I would tell you is that in addition to having a really strong plan for 25, and I've told you guys a million times how to actually map that out, right? Pick your goals in faith, family, fitness, finances. And then after you have your goals, make actionable steps on a quarterly, monthly, weekly, and daily basis, right? Break them down into micro actions. So make sure you have a plan in place. And if you don't or haven't done that, take this weekend to do that. That's really going to help you. And write it down. People that write it down have a much higher likelihood of actually making it happen. Okay. And the last piece is have real financial discipline. All right. And here's what I mean by that. If you make $10,000 a month, okay, $120,000 a year, you have to allocate it. And it doesn't matter if you're making 10 a month, if you're making 20, or if you're making 5. This process works no matter what. All right. So think about it like this. Your fixed costs, that's your mortgage, your utilities, all the stuff that you absolutely need, right, to live. Keep that about 35%. Okay. 35%, 25 to 35% of what you make. The next 25% is going to be like your variable costs, food, things like that. And then I would tell you, if you can keep that to under 60%, you're winning. Okay. If you can keep it to 50%, you're doing really well. Then the other two buckets, right? Maybe you have 5 or 10% discretionary, right? Because a lot of people, if it's too rigid, can't operate in the system. And then the next two buckets should be savings and investing, right? And let's just say, you're at 65%, so you got 35% left. 20% goes into savings, 15% goes into investing. You maintain that discipline throughout the entire year. And the savings, okay, once you get 6 months of living expenses saved up, then I would move whatever was going into savings, I would move that 20% and do 35% into investing. Because once you have your 6 months of living expenses, you don't need to save too much past that. You should be investing it to make money on that, right? And even what you're using and putting into a savings account, I would tell you go and find like a high yield money market account, right? This way, inflation isn't digging into it too much. All right. And if you can set this up where it's done automatically, and here's what I mean when I say automatically. If you're investing and you can have weekly debits come out of your bank account. And that's always how I've done it. I have my stuff come out that I want to invest on a weekly basis. Why? Because it doesn't stay in my bank account too long, which means I have less of a chance of spending it, which means it has a much higher likelihood of actually going where it needs to go. Okay. And when you do these things and you make them structured and regimented and fixed like that, okay, where everything's happening automatically, then you are golden. And if your company or your payroll company can't do it, you can do it. You know what days you get paid. So on the days that you get paid, make rules, okay, that your bank account transfers X amount into these other accounts. All right. And if you do that, it's not going to look like much 2 months in. It's not going to look like much 6 months in. It probably won't look like shit after a year. But you know what? When you look at it after 2 or 3 years and you have a substantial, more wealth than what you started with 2 or 3 years ago, it makes it that much easier to stick to the process. All right. So if I was giving you guys any advice going into 25, those are the things that I would focus on. And then in terms of if you're an entrepreneur, you can never grow your network big enough. Okay. So who can you meet? Who can you network? Who are the people? Like in any business, there's always, I think, 4 or 5 types of people that you can find that work really well with your business. That if you bring these people into the fold as relationships, either partnerships or JVs or what, however, they can dramatically increase your revenue, right? They can definitely increase everything about your business. And here's what I'll tell you. Like for me, it's finding a good partner. Okay. Finding a good referral partner that deals with business owners that need, and their businesses need financing and they need to work with a reputable company. People like that, like when I find an accountant like that, that is somebody that will exponentially grow my business, right? Those are the people that I would target in 25. Find those people for you. And if you can find those people and bring them into the fold and build real relationships with them and drive a lot of value to them, your business will take off. Dave, you got anything else to add?
Yeah, in terms of getting started, guys, look on a simple end, right? Because a lot of people that see this with us, a lot of them are home buyers, right? First time ever. Congratulations. I know a lot of y'all are looking right now. It's a goal for next year. But in terms of budgeting, guys, let's talk about discipline again. Start simple, especially if it's uncomfortable, it's out of the norm. Look, $10 a day, right? Put it into a savings account, build that muscle, download something like Mint, right? Know your numbers, know where everything's going. When you have a system, then take it that step further, that Jonathan's saying, where can you put your money? Where can you auto draft it now? Now you understand from a simplistic standpoint of how it works. So you're not just thrown into shock and awe, and build that discipline and that muscle. And in terms of networking, man, yeah, he's right. A lot of people start out of the gates quick, always in the beginning of the year, but take that momentum, start meeting out more at networking events, create those relationships. I think next year people are hungry, man. And as long as some people would get crazy about it, but if everything falls into place with the administration change, people are going to move fast. One thing is, how fast are you going to move compared to everybody else, or don't sit on the sidelines and wait. Because if one thing we've learned after the last 4 years, man, when bad times happen, you can't get stagnant. Those that will survive, they keep pushing and they keep going. And then when it is better, how much more are you accelerating compared to everybody else? And that's what I'll leave y'all with.
I love it. All right, guys. Well, this was a great one. Share this with 2 people that need to hear it. We appreciate you guys, and we'll catch you on the last Mindset Monday of the year. Take care, guys. We appreciate you.
Be great, y'all.